Welcome into this week's episode of Inside the Charge. Maddy Glab alongside of one of our offensive linemen, Alec Anderson. You guys know him as number 70 is reporting as eligible. He does a great job of that every single game. We're going to talk about what it's like to be the sixth offensive lineman. We're going to talk pizza, fashion, and more. It's going to be a good episode. Alec, thanks for hanging out with us right off the practice field. A little bit sweaty. Had a good day out there. I'm glad the sun is still shining in November.
Bits and pieces.
You have been a part of this lineup this season. The Bills use 6 offensive linemen, more than any other team does in the NFL right now. And we know when you report as eligible, you're going into the lineup as offensive lineman number 6. What's the best part of doing that?
Yes, ma'am. It is a great time. The best part about it, I would have to say, is just knowing we're going to get positive yards.
Yeah.
I think it's super fun that we get to use it as much as we do because I feel like they're entrusting not just me but the entire offensive line of, putting the extra big guy in and knowing like, y'all got to get those yards. And I think it's so much fun when I get to go in and we just get to get first downs and move the chains.
That is quite the mindset, going in knowing you're going to get positive yards. It happens almost all the time when you report as eligible.
I would agree.
Where does that mindset come from?
Comes from just myself and my family, I'd say. Growing up, we were all very competitive. We all played sports from my grandparents all the way down to me and my brother, who are the youngest in the family, and everybody in between. So I think growing up, playing sports with all your siblings and your older siblings, you kind of get a more of a competitive mindset. And I think also, for me, it's a sense of pride. I think offensive linemen have a different type of pride than most human beings that walk the earth, and so I think just also that is a driving factor as well. Like, I don't want to let my other 5 boys down that are playing just as hard every play. So I think it's a sense of pride that also gets me in that mindset of like, all right, let's go out there, move this person in front of me, and get James and Ray and Ty a hole to run through.
Okay, you said offensive linemen have a different sense of pride than other people that walk this earth. I'm going to take that a step further.
Okay.
I think Alec Anderson has a different type of pride than people that walk this earth. You have the vibe, Alec, that is like, do not mess with me.
Yeah.
In a fun way.
Yes.
In a mean way on the field. Where does that come from?
I think it comes from just me being a competitive person and really wanting to just be as aggressive as I can, under control though, with great technique. I've had to learn that just over the years of, being in a controlled mindset, and I think from some of the books that I've read about mindset and competitive toughness, I think the worst type of chaos is controlled chaos. And so I've tried to adapt that mentality to myself over the years, and this year it's helped a lot because I'm in, I'm out, I'm up and down, so it really keeps you even keel the entire game, and saving up that energy of when I go in, like, it's let loose, good technique, try to just smash that person in front of you into the ground and do your job.
How hard is it to smash the person in front of you into the ground, but do it in a controlled way?
It is easy. It's easier than most people think because Cromer has great technique. And so when we use our technique and you play long and use the proper stuff you're supposed to use, I think it's easier to execute your job. And for me, I think also growing up doing different sports, wrestling was the main one on the side. I also can, feel sometimes when people are off balance and when they're going to try to shift their weight to the other side and toss me by. So it's a more feeling out thing as well.
You talked about going in and out of the lineup. When you're playing on offense and defense, sure, you might be in for a certain package or a play here and there, or, you're on third down, it switches up. But I feel like you are in your own type of world, reporting in and out of the game throughout the entire game. How do you view that, and how you're able to snap into it, snap out of it, snap into it, snap out of it?
I think it just is you have to adapt to it. Everything, the first couple weeks you go out there and the adrenaline is just massive. And so like the
Do you have
first
to like calm yourself a little bit
yeah,
because the
shout out to
adrenaline
Dr.
is pumping
Des.
so
She's
much?
yeah, the breathing techniques really help.
Okay.
So I try to go 4 seconds in through my nose, hold it for a second, and then go 6 seconds out.
Yep.
So try to get as much fresh oxygen out and all the
Are
bad
you
stuff
doing
out.
that right before you get onto the field or once you're on the field?
Once I come out, actually.
Once you come
so
out.
once I go in, it's more we're in the huddle. Josh calls the play. I go snap.
Okay.
Or we get to the line, do the play. I come out and you're just pulsing, just jacked up, and so that's when I'll come out because I know we most likely won't go back to back on it, and so I take my couple breaths and then I'm back down to chilling and then bringing the energy on the sideline when somebody has a big catch or a big play.
Your journey on this team is a really cool one. You come here and you're an undrafted free agent out of UCLA. You spent your rookie season on the practice squad. Now you're on the active roster. How did you earn the spot of doing what you're doing this season, playing as much as you are?
I think it's that mentality that you kind of mentioned earlier. It's how I approach myself and life and my business, and football is my business. And so I think that last year when I was on the active for the first time, I felt a sense of accomplishment of like, awesome, like, you know, one step further, you're an undrafted guy, you made it onto the active. Now, what's that next thing? I'm always looking to, you know, get better as a competitor. And so the next thing was, how can I help the team on the field now? And so this past off season, that's all I had my sights set for. It was, you know, making the 53, but being that swing offensive lineman and also the sixth man that they can count on to throw into any position when they need me to. And I think I fulfilled that. And so it's, you know, great to have this sense of accomplishment this season, and I'm looking forward to, you know, the future years of it.
You came in here as a tackle, I believe,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then you moved over to guard, and now you're also our backup center.
Yes.
How crazy was that to learn everything once you got here?
It was my rookie year. We were going into the bye week, and we get there, and Crow, it was like the week before the bye week, last game. Crow was like, hey, can you play center? And I was like, heck yeah, man. I was like, I can snap. He was like, oh, you've done it before. I was like, yeah, I've done it before. And he was like, okay, like, let's take a couple. So we did a couple, and he was like, all right, it's not bad. It's not bad. Like, you can work on some stuff. I was like, awesome. The first time I snapped was my, pro day at UCLA, and that was probably a mistake. But other than that, after that, I went home on our bye week, and the entire time for the bye week, I probably spent 2 hours a day snapping to my mom, my dad, my uncle, and my aunt, and sometimes my brother, so whoever was home.
Shout out to the family.
The shout out to the family, and then I made a little baseball net with like a cardboard box into it as the strike zone where to hit Josh in the chest. And every day before I was like going off-roading or to the beach, I had to get 20 into the hole and snap it into the strike zone. And so I figured that out and came back a week later and did a decent enough job to where they entrusted me to keep going. So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is wild. I love the confidence that you're like, hey, I can do it. Throw me in there. I'm going to give it a try, and then you're going to tell me it's good enough, and I'm going to go home and,
and if
work
it's not,
on it.
I'm just going to fix it. I'm going to try to fix as much as I can.
Alec, we talked about the vibe a little bit, but what do your teammates say about you and your personality?
I would say, who said it? I think it was Smiley and I were talking. He was saying that I'm the nicest mean person he's ever met. And so I think that comes off just off the field. You know, I'm willing to always help out and, you know, give a lending hand to people that need it. Pulled people out of the snow plenty of times in Buffalo, not knowing how to drive in the snow. So other than that, I think my teammates would say that I'm a jokester, but also a hard worker when we need to get down to business. And I think throughout camp this year, last year, and the previous year, everybody knows that I won't shy away from a fight.
Oh, no, you
won't.
If
my teammates need me to be there.
It's like, who's in the
there.
Scuffle? Oh, there's Alec again.
Who would have known? Yeah, but it's fun, you know. I think that's a sense of pride as well.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's not going to mess with my family here in Buffalo, and I'm willing to go to really any lengths to make sure my people are protected.
Alec, one of your uncles is on this coaching staff, the assistant special teams coach, Corey Harkey, who is an awesome guy. How unique is it to have family on the coaching staff? It's
crazy. I didn't know until I got here. His brother, Tony, is married to my mom's youngest sister. And so he's my uncle by association, not blood. And so I grew up and knew he played for the Rams, and he went to UCLA, and it was funny because I went to UCLA by coincidence, not really knowing that he went there. And then I would train in high school, and he'd come home, and every now and then I'd go train with him and just go see what an NFL guy did. And then we kind of lost touch, and I got here, and I was walking through the building. I was like, "Oh crap, Corey, you are here, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I am." I was like, "Oh, awesome!" So it's really nice being able to go to him and talk to him whenever I feel like I need to, and vice versa for him. And it's nice seeing his wife Bianca here and the 2 children, and so it's a great time having the family away from California.
Home away from home.
Exactly,
Cali's a
yeah.
far place away.
It is, but when you're here on business, you can't dwell on it.
How have you adjusted, a Cali kid, into the Buffalo atmosphere, weather?
It was 2 of the drastics. I was in the desert, and so growing up, it would get 115, 110, 120 out there in the Inland Empire. And coming to here, flipped opposite, -20.
Yep.
So it gets cold, but I think, honestly, for me, it's just I've always been an adaptive person, and so it'll be cold, but one thing my dad always told us, you can be sick, but don't act sick. And so if you are cold, you can be cold, but don't go out there and complaining about it, because it doesn't do anything but bring down the morale and bring down the energy.
You fit Buffalo too. I don't know. You give me Buffalo vibes. You've been here for a few years
It's fun.
now.
It's great. I love being here.
Good.
I think it's a fun place.
We love it too. Your offensive line men, your teammates, they do pizza parties. Started with Connor McGovern saying, "Hey, I can cook a mean pizza," and then left tackle Deion Dawkins said, "All right, show me what you can do."
And Connor showed us.
And last season, you guys started to come together for Connor's Pizza and other things, and you started to win games, and now that has turned into a second season of doing so. How are the pizza gatherings this year?
The pizza gatherings are super fun. I think it's a great time to kind of pause in the middle of the week and mentally unplug from the game plan and the long season that we have. And it's just awesome to be able to break bread with your brothers and really hang out and talk and get to know each other even more. And every week it's more and more fun, and so we all look forward to going. And I think Connor does a great job making the Detroit style pizzas, and his pepperoni with the hot honey on top is amazing. And then he makes the appetizers. I think the appetizers are the best. His steak bites, he has this like homemade sauce with some like bell peppers and cheese on top with some steak. Amazing.
Fire.
Very, very good.
Okay, what's your pizza order?
My pizza order at Connor's?
Yeah, at Connor's.
I'll do 2 slices of the hot honey pepperoni, and then I'll do some cheese, and then I'll do some of the deep dish one. And then he has one of these, like, they look like muffins, but they're little pizzas, and those ones are good too. Nice and just moist. It's very yummy.
So you're a deep dish fan?
I'm just a Connor pizza fan.
You're a Connor pizza fan. So whatever
good stuff
Connor's
all around.
cooking.
Yes.
That's incredible that he does that much work for you guys. I mean, it's not easy.
He puts hours into it
to cook
for
a pizza, and is he cooking his own dough too, or making
yeah,
his own dough?
He preps his own dough.
Yeah, prepping his own dough. Wow.
It's
you guys have a busy life here. He also has a baby in his life,
yes.
And then to do that, wow, what a teammate. What a guy.
What a teammate. What a leader. That's what a center's for, right?
I love it. So you have an uncle on the team who's on the coaching staff. You also have a family member who is the owner of Vans.
Yes, Uncle Steve.
How many Vans things do you have? How much Vans clothing?
I have a lot. I have a lot of shoes. I buy all of them though. I don't get the handout.
You don't have a code for us that
No,
you can give out?
No, I don't. I wish. Trust me, I'd be using it more than anybody. But yeah, I have probably maybe 30, 40 pairs of Vans.
Oh my gosh.
Because my rule is anytime I go into a Vans store and there's a size 16 that I don't have at home, I will buy it.
Is it hard to find a size 16 in a Vans store?
Super hard. It's
Okay.
mainly I have to go online and buy some of them and like custom make them. But nice little nuggets that I go in there and they do have them, I'll just buy them right there on the spot. And so it's fun.
What's your favorite pair?
My favorite pair have to be maybe the new ones, the old school with the fat tongues.
Okay.
Those ones are really comfy. I like those ones a lot. And then also maybe their classic skating shoe. That one's always awesome. I always have a pair of those lying around, even if they're super old. And that's the thing. I wear mine until they have a hole in the bottom, and so I love them. They're amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you wear the crap out of them.
I
Then
wear the
you're
crap
like,
out
all
of them.
right,
I
I'll
have
get another
shoes.
pair.
I got the Vans bus tattooed on my leg.
No
So
way.
yeah, I have a whole California little mural, and so I have the Vans bus going.
Okay, you're a
west.
Cali kid. You're related to the Vans owner. You got the Vans bus tattooed on you.
Yeah.
You're talking about skate shoes. Were you a skater boy in a former life? Did
In a
you ever
former
dabble with
life,
that as a kid?
I did dabble. I dabbled in BMX riding and slightly skating. Most I could do is probably a ollie and half a kickflip.
I
Nothing
mean,
too
that's
crazy.
it's better than most, Alec.
It is better than most.
You do like off-roading.
I love off-roading.
Is that just the next step? Like, if I can't BMX bike, we're gonna do this in a car.
I think no, it more came from just me wanting to seek adventure. My family, we grew up no TV on while the sun is up, and so I was outside all day in the summer until the sun went down, and then we didn't really want to watch TV, so probably every Friday we'd do a family movie night. We'd go bike down to Blockbuster, if anybody remembers that.
Shout out Blockbuster.
Yeah, we go bike down to Blockbuster as a family, pick out 2 movies, and then go get some ice cream from the store, and we'd all bike back home, and then we'd shower, sit on the couch, watch a movie, and go to bed.
I love that.
Yeah, so I always kind of been naturally drawn to the outdoors and love doing it with my brother, my 2 best friends, Dom and Hunter, and then my cousins, Connor and Brendan. We always go for at least a couple days, just go off-roading and camp out there and just kind of get back, be one with nature and kind of, calm yourself down.
Do you like to do that in the off season? Get out,
Oh, I love it.
get out of Buffalo, get out of wherever you're living in the off season, and kind of just live the
yeah.
outdoorsy life.
My dad and I, that's why I have a tattoo here of the Route 66 and the Vans bus. My dad and I did a road trip last year after season from Buffalo all the way to California, and we hit 9 states, and so
That's awesome.
it was a great time. I drove like 13 and a half hours the first day, and we just kept trucking, made it all the way to Colorado. Slept next to the Colorado River, which was a bucket list thing for me. I've always kind of wanted to do that just because it runs for so long, and made it all the way home through Utah. Stayed at Zion National Forest. If you haven't been there, you
Yep,
should really check
it's
it out.
sick.
Beautiful. And yeah, and so this year, my girlfriend and I, we're going to do a road trip from Buffalo down to the Keys, all the way to Florida. So that'll be fun, yeah.
Pretty cool. When you were in high school, you had your own moving company
I did.
called Sons for a
I
Day.
did.
You've got an entrepreneurial mindset. Where does
Yes.
that come from? Do you have anything in the works right now?
In the works, I can't give that out because I want to put a patent on it first. But possibly, yeah.
Possibly,
For
yeah.
offensive linemen. So
Coming soon?
Exactly, coming soon. You never know. Protective gear. So we're gonna see where that goes. But no, it was more from my dad. We didn't get allowances, and so he was very much into because he's from Germany, and so he's a foreigner, and he's always big into the American dream and making your own way in America and life as a man. So I kind of just took that to heart, and I wanted an Xbox, and my dad was like, all right, you just got to save up for it. And so my best friend and I, Dom, he and I in high school made Sons for a Day, and our slogan was, we'll do anything you want for a day, even watch a football game with you. And so we went to people's houses and just did everything, hung up lights, moved them out of houses, moved into new houses, did manual labor as in mowed their front lawn, their back lawn, did their pools, all that stuff. And
What's
so,
the weirdest thing you did?
weirdest thing I did? Nothing too crazy. Everything was kind of normal, but my brother and I moved somebody one time, and we were this big painting, and we're carrying it down the stairs, and he was the owner came by and just started chuckling. He was like, haha, hey guys, don't drop that $20 million painting.
You're like, what?
I was like, what? And we laughed and
I'll
didn't
take it
think
for
anything.
myself.
Yeah, we didn't think anything of it, and so we put it into the truck, and I was like, excuse me, sir, how much is that painting actually? And he was like, oh no, it's actually $20 million. I was like,
oh my gosh.
all right, thanks, appreciate the heads up on that one. So that's the most expensive thing that I had to move.
Your dad is from Germany. When did he move to the United States?
He moved here, I think when he was 14 or 15 years old. My grandfather, his dad, was told to go to the military and fight in Vietnam, and so he went, fought in Vietnam, met my Oma over there, and then her and him lived out there for a long time until after Vietnam, and then they came back to the States when my dad and his sister were in their teenage years, and then they moved out to Southern California in Pasadena. I lived out there.
Very cool. One more
Yeah.
question before we go, because I know you got meetings coming up. This month, November, is Native American Heritage Month. You have a tie to a tribe. What is the tribe, and how does that trace in your family?
So it traces from my dad's dad, my opa, who's from Evansville, Indiana, and his mom's side is Blackfoot Native American, and so we have a little bit of that running through our veins. And so I think it's awesome that I have so much diversity in me.
Yeah.
I'm Irish, I'm German, my dad's half black, so that makes me a little bit black, and I'm also Native American, and it's just really interesting to be able to see America and myself as in a melting pot, and it's kind of a little bit honoring to know that you have a little bit more ancestry ties to here.
How do you walk through life with all of that? Like,
I just be
how
myself.
Cool is it? Yeah.
It's cool. It's awesome. It's funny because a lot of people don't expect it.
Mm-hmm.
And Dion loves to make sure everybody knows it, and so you can see how that goes. But it's fun. I think it's awesome. Knowing, because I do appear as a white male,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I do understand some people in a different way
Yeah.
of being coming from a interracial household
Mm-hmm.
that came from another interracial
Mm-hmm.
household, and so it's really cool to see what my parents have kind of gone through, and my great grandparents, what they went through coming from Ireland and all that, and being foreigners themselves, and so it's amazing life.
Very cool. Alec Anderson, way more than just your sixth offensive
Yes.
lineman. So many different stories in this one.
A
Thanks
lot.
for sitting down and
Thank you,
chatting.
Maddy.
Love
Appreciate
it.
it.